Whether you're just starting out or well on your way as a professional writer, director, actor, or editor, I'd love to hear about the challenges that you're facing. I'm here to help. Learn from the mistakes that I've made. Let's locate your unique voice and bring it to the screen. These are my adventures in cinema, and I hope you enjoy them. We all have neuroses. We carry around a lot of, stuff with us, traumas, neuroses, whatever you want to call it. But actors have more than most people because the very nature of the discipline requires you to do something that perhaps no other field of endeavor needs, which is to completely strip yourself emotionally naked and relay a certain version, or provide a peephole rather, into your soul. And the best actors, the great actors, are those who can do that effortlessly, or at least seemingly effortlessly, um, and allow you to perceive a certain humanity and the big word, which is vulnerability. I think the greatest actors are the ones who are the most able to be vulnerable on screen, and hence the most truthful. When you're directing an animal, like when I was directing the leopard in the forest, it was amazing. The animal is got a razor sharp focus on the food that is there at the end of um, a cycle that has been created. So the animal will leap out of the cage, jump onto a plank. From the plank, will leap onto the bark of a tree, will climb up the tree, and will expect food to be there at the end. And at the end of that process, at the end of that cycle, they will get the food, the piece of meat or whatever has been left there for them, jump back onto a platform and back into the cage. And the trainer makes them do this 5, 6, 7, 8 times, but then the 8th and 9th time there is no food there, but the animal is still doing the same thing. And that's beautiful. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I think you can talk to actors and direct actors exactly in the same way. Is first provide the incentive to focus, which is ask them questions that will start getting their brains to work. Actors, I find, have to be good actors. Great actors are the most intelligent people in the world. They have to be. You cannot be a great actor without a huge amount of intelligence, in my opinion. You have to be intelligent, emotionally intelligent. I don't mean intellectual, but emotionally you have to be very, very intelligent. That is the job of a director, actually, is to start triggering those emotional intelligence, the buttons that trigger that emotional intelligence. So that's the thing that I would do. I would basically talk to the actor and ask them to start thinking about the questions in the scene. What is my desire? What is the conflict? What does my character want? Which is the same thing as desire. And what is stopping me from getting it? Which is the same thing as conflict. Right? And finally, what is the intention of the overall scene? Now, what happens when you ask somebody a question is that they start thinking. When they start thinking, they stop trying to act, and they actually be. So when you ask a question, like, and this happens, look at, for example, look at any television interview with a politician. And this is particularly interesting because politicians are trained not to answer the question. Bureaucrats and politicians are great to watch for acting lessons. In life, we never say what we mean. This is also another way of writing great dialogue. Great dialogue should never be on the nose. It should always be on the surface. The character is trying to get something, but they will never say, I want to have sex with you, for example, at a bar. A man trying to chat up a girl will never say, I want to have sex with you. He'll probably get a drink thrown in his face, right? He'll probably say something like, you're looking very nice today, or something like that. But actually what he's thinking is, I want to have sex with you tonight. This is a basic example, right? So we never say what we mean, we never mean what we say. This is human beings. Now, if we think about this, and if the dialogue is lying at that superficial, at that level of, let's call it flirtation, right? And the intention of the scene is to have sex with a girl at night, for example, right? And that's the trigger that I need to start triggering him off in. I need to try and tell him that, listen, this is what you want to do today. This is what your character needs to do, right? That's where you're going with this. The minute I say that, he stops acting and he starts thinking, how do I get the girl into bed, right? Coming back to my politicians and bureaucrats sort of example, look at any interview that's done with a politician or a bureaucrat. they will never answer the question, especially if it's a tough question, right? They'll always try to seem like they are answering the question, but they're thinking. Look at their eyes when they answer. They're always thinking, and that is performance. That is the ultimate performance. That's why I think politicians and bureaucrats are the ultimate performers, because they are in that moment. They don't know what question is going to be asked. They have to be so alert, which is the first thing that an actor has to do. They have to be listening, which is the second thing an actor has to do. And then they have to improvise really quickly and come up with an answer that sounds like they're answering the question, but actually is towing the party line, is propagating whatever it is that the chief whip of the party has told them before the press conference. Right? Now, these are multiple zones that are operating in a man's brain or a spokesperson's brain when they are getting onto television channels and trying to answer these really tough questions. So I think the greatest lesson for an actor comes from animals that have been taught to act. So you get a one-pointed focus. So you just go for that. And the second is from a bureaucrat or a politician trying to answer questions on screen on a television channel.